Hello TSM 115. During this video you will start to learn how to navigate through the Arduino programming interface. I will show you some of the main buttons that you will be using while coding. At the top left you will see this button, the check mark, to be the verify button. This button runs through your code and checks for any errors, bugs, or missing pieces. This process is also called compiling the code. Another cool aspect of this button is that it will save your work as it's going through its function. Next to it is the upload button. This sends all the information in your code from the computer to your Arduino board. You want to make sure that your port is set to the port that is talking to your Arduino board. Then we have standard buttons, new button, that's just a new blank page like this, the open button, and then the save button. We also have on the right hand side the serial monitor. This is where a visual representation of the different serial functions in your code will show up. On the bottom right is the speed that you will declare in your code to have that specific code show up in the serial monitor. Next, let's talk about assignment or activity 11. We're going to be wanting to learn how to structure our program in an efficient way. Serial printing, which I was just talking about in the serial monitor. These are the coding functions, the serial print and serial print ln. There is also a new line, a tabbing function, and we will also talk about variables and data types like bytes, integers, floats, and doubles. We will also learn how to declare and initialize these variables. And we will also talk about the array variables. Let's walk through this assignment by each line of code and find out the differences between them. We will be using the print examples reference 0 file and going with those examples. So here we can go to Sketchbook, your libraries, activity examples, printing examples, but I actually have a new file that I made some slight changes so it doesn't look exactly like yours. So if we have the verify with no errors, we will see that the status bar will come up with done compiling. If we have an error, like we just took out the semicolon after the serial print, and run verify, we will see that there's an error compiling. Some things to look for when trying to find errors. It will actually tell you partially where the error is. So in the void loop, so in the main body of this text, it also says error expected semicolon before the delay. So the delay is down here, and it wants a semicolon after this serial print function. So now that that's complete, on compiling, and that's how you start to begin debugging your code. Now let's go through the lines of code. This first part is a variable. It's a way of naming and sorting the letters that are associated with these variables. So integer x will be a whole number. Next we have the void setup. The void setup function is to initialize variables, pin modes, and start using libraries. The setup will only run once after each power-up or reset of the Arduino board. In this setup, we have a serial begin function in which this is the speed where the Arduino board is going to be talking to the serial monitor. So if we go ahead and upload this code to our Arduino board, done uploading, and go to our serial monitor, we want to match up this number with this identity bar. So now it's printing a bunch of 2's. Why is that? So in the void loop, this will actually loop itself through its code, and that's why we see the 2 continuing to repeat. It's actually printing the 2 and then going back, so it runs x is 2, runs this serial print, delays 300, and then this is the end of the void loop, which then once it hits the end of the void loop, it actually goes back into the beginning of the void loop. It asks x is what? X is 2, serial print x, and we get 2 continuously. So now that we've done this first part, let's see the differences between just a serial print and a serial print ln. So let's comment out that serial print and uncomment this serial print ln and upload that. Now the serial monitor should print out something a little different. Now it's going to be 2's continuously going down because the ln is like a new line function. So let's comment that out and see what the serial print does with different letters. Oops. Need to upload this code again. Serial monitor. There you go. Hello world, my name is Colin. So, see how this serial print is just regular, and then it has this attached /n at the end. That will actually, this /n is the new line. So if we comment that out and uncomment this and upload it, serial print ln should basically be the same thing as this one above it. It doesn't have the /n, but it should still look the same, having a new line after every time it's printed. So just notice that difference. Comment that out. So some more testing with where you place the /n. Let's upload that one. So now it wants to skip a line. Wants to skip a line here and skip a line here. So that's why it has a blank space in between. Comment that out. let's see what the tabbing does. So that is the /T right here. That is going to be the difference. So now it just tabs over a space between each time it prints. So let's comment that one out and try this one where it goes tab, tab. Let's upload that. So it has two tabs right here in this blank space, but then also this /N is the new line, so that's why it's not completely tabbed over like the previous one was in one continuous line. So that is the explanation of how the void loop works and the different serial prints work. I hope going through this beginning assignment has helped you learn the Arduino programming interface and all its buttons, and also what the void setup and void loop do with the main body of the looping. I hope you've learned what the serial print and serial print ln is, how to declare variables, what these variables look like in the looping, how the different prints visually see it in the serial monitor, how the different tabbing and new line methods work within that serial monitor. I hope this video has been educational. Thanks for listening.